In this episode of Weekly Poker Hand, we are taking a look at a spot from a heads-up battle between Charlie Carrel and Robin Poker on Game of Gold. Robin Poker is about 20 big blinds deep. Charlie Carrel, one of the greatest soul readers of all time, limps the button with Queen 8 of clubs. This is a spot where you may say, why not raise the Queen 8 of clubs? Don't you want to get value? Isn't your hand probably good? It is. However, if you raise and then get shoved on for 20 big blinds, it's not great. So just limp your Queen 8 of clubs, and if Robin decides to raise, you can call in position. So Charlie limps, Robin Poker with the Queen 2 of diamonds opposite check. Let's head to the flop.
Check.
The flop comes 9 of clubs, 4 of clubs, 3 of hearts. Robin Poker checks, and then, a bit to my surprise, Charlie Carrel opts to check behind. I think this is a reasonable spot to go for a bet with the Queen 8 of clubs because you can get a whole lot of hands that have good equity to fold, like any unpaired hand, and also you make it way more difficult to get bluffed on the turn and river. Now, if you don't think Robin Poker is going to be doing a whole lot of bluffing on the turn and the river, that becomes less of a concern, but imagine he bets the turn when the flush doesn't come in or you don't make a pair, and you call, and then the river comes, and you don't improve, and he bets again. You just have to fold, and that's not great. However, if you bet the flop and he folds, that's fine, and if he raises and wants to get it all in, that's fine too, because you have the queen high flush draw, an overcard, backdoor straight draw, you have it all. So I think this is a spot where if I were in Charlie's shoes, I would have preferred a small bet just to get the money starting to go in the pot to both get fold equity from unpaired hands that have some equity and may decide to bluff you later, and also to allow you to build a big pot when you happen to make a flush, and then really do want to get all 20 big blinds in. But whatever, Charlie's a world-class player, he checks it back. Let's head to the turn.
Check.
The turn is the 7 of spades. Robin Poker checks with his absolute nothing, which is certainly reasonable, and then Charlie checks behind again. Now you may say, Jonathan, if you thought he should bet the flop, he should probably bet the turn, right? But now the answer would be no, because now if he bets the turn and gets shoved all in on, he actually should find a fold because he's not going to be getting quite the right odds to call. And on this somewhat draw-heavy board, Robin Poker is going to be check raising with decent pairs that are almost always good but very vulnerable to being outdrawn, as well as some draws, both high equity and perhaps low equity. So Charlie really does not want to get shoved on now because if he bets the turn and gets raised all in, he'll have to fold a hand that has pretty good equity. So while betting the flop was fine because there were 2 cards to come, Charlie always has good equity against everything. Now on the turn with only 1 card to come, that's not necessarily the case. So Charlie checks it back. Let's head to the river. The river is the 5 of hearts, putting up a 4 straight. And Robin Poker decides to show some heart. He bets 100,000 into the 80,000 pot. A slight overbet. With nothing. I like it. Let's see how Charlie responds.
All right, I'm not throwing in a raise, so I'll tell you, I don't have a pair.
Can't call here.
Huh?
You can't call here. Is he thinking about calling?
This is like some Jack 4
Yeah, he literally beats almost like no hands.
Queen high.
Sure.
After a lot of deliberation, a little bit of staring down, Charlie somehow calls with the queen high, and is good. Now you may say, how in the world could he possibly do this? Using logic, you have to presume that Robin's bet on the river when he overbets should be very polarized, right? To either a straight, maybe 2 pair, or nothing. What is the nothing here? Well, the nothing's going to be stuff like Jack 10, Jack 8, Jack 2, Queen 10, which Charlie loses to, Queen 8, Queen 2, and then maybe King High, which Charlie loses to. So I don't even know what's happening here. I mean, I get the idea that maybe Charlie somehow had some sick live read that Robin Poker was bluffing, but even then, I think Charlie loses to a lot of the bluffs, and I do think Robin Poker will take King High and bluff it. Now, maybe he thinks Robin always raises preflop with a lot of the King Highs. Maybe that's true. Maybe that weights him very towards Queen High, which, again, Charlie is losing to sometimes, and Jack High, and I suppose 10 High, right? He could have 10-8 or 10-2, but I don't know. This one's dicey. So, look, Charlie is a huge advocate for live poker tells, makes it very clear in a lot of his content. What I want to know is, do you think live tells even exist? Take a second, think about it, and let me know in the comment section down below. Live tells obviously exist. If you play poker at all, you can certainly look at some players and just tell if they are strong or weak based on all sorts of their mannerisms. They exist. Study them. We have content on them at pokercoaching.com. Make sure you check it out. And if you're playing at someone with live tells and you're not taking advantage of them, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. This time, Charlie used them to amazing effect, and he crushed Robin's spirit. I'll talk to you next time.